A warm greetings to everyone. I am D.M.Kalai Selvi, Assistant Professor, R.M.D.E.C College, CSE Department. Now we are going to see about virtualization concept in Devops. Virtualization plays a major role in cloud computing. So as everyone knows, cloud is a multi-tenant environment where multiple users uses the services available on the same server hardware. To achieve this shared environment, cloud providers uses virtualization technology. So virtualization can be achieved using a concept called hypervisor. What hypervisor will be doing is it will split CPU, RAM and storage resources between multiple virtual machines. Each user on the hypervisor gets their own operating system. So that is the major difference between the VMs and the traditional method. So none of the individual VMs interact with other person. So the person VMs who is interacting with this hardware service or any other physical services, whatever they are using through cloud, the VM user don't know how many users are using that device. For example, if they are using a cloud printer through cloud, the one VM user will be thinking he is the only person using that printer, but it will be connected with multiple VM users. So we will be hiding the other users from, we will be hiding the user details to the other members. So this means cloud platforms like AWS can maximize the resource utilization per server with multiple tenants. So it will able to lower the prices for enterprises through economies of scale. It is the architecture about a traditional one and the virtual one. Traditional architecture, you will be having an application and you have the operating system and what are the hardwares are required for that application run will be that, and this will be a singly applicable to only one user. But if you go for the virtual architecture, you can able to share all these requirements through the visualization layer, and here the hypervisor acts and different application can able to in different VM users can able to use that shared applications. So we will be seeing detail about hypervisor. Hypervisor can able to create and run virtual machines. So it act in between the hardwares and the VMs, and it will allow to run multiple operating system, multiple different operating system. That is also possible to run on the same physical machine. So each visual machine has its own kernel, libraries, and supporting files. So you can imagine hypervisor as a landlord and dividing a large house into a separate apartments, and each apartment will belong to a different each VMs, and what are the specification can given for that apartment will be decided by the VMs and not by the hypervisor. So that VM can able to do whatever the things needed for that particular land area that can be done by the VM. So we can also send as attendants who can have their own thing. Containers. So there is a mild difference between the virtualization, hyper VM virtual machines and containers. Containers will be sharing the same operating system kernel but package applications with their dependencies into a single unit. So it allows to run multiple application on the same OS, but each application is isolated from others. So you can take an example of a cargo containers on a ship. They all travel to the same ship, but each container is self-contained and does not affect the other one. And there are some names of the examples of containers: Docker, LXC, CRI. Now we will be seeing how microservices connected to containerization. Microservice architectures involve decoupling the main components of an application into a singular or isolated components. Since the components can operate independently of one another, it reduces the risk of errors or complete service outages. A container holds a single function for a specific task or a microservice. By splitting each individual application function into a container, microservices improve enterprise service and scalability. Monolithic means a single service, a single entire thing. How it is divided based upon the different layers. You'll be having database, data access layer, business logic, and user interface. The same thing if you're dividing a single application into different components, you can able to have the more than two or three microservices which will be acting with the database, and these four microservices work independently, and surely they will be sharing any data if they are required. They will be sharing the data, so the parallel processing of the service will be done. So the if we compare to the traditional monolithic and microservice architectures um, gives more performance. Thank you.